Having made his debut in Borderlands 1, Scooter is single-handedly one of the most beloved and well-liked characters to come out of this franchise to date. So much so that it's almost impossible to recreate his style of charm and appeal, making it only something he can hold claim to. Scooter was born, literally in a barn, into the Hodunk clan by Moxie and Jimbo. While we've never seen them, Moxie has multiple kids other than Scooter and later his younger sister Ellie, as Scooter was named after his other sister, obviously by the same name. He would grow up ever so slightly in the Hodunk clan, as Ellie would be born here as well at a later point in life. That was until Moxie wound up running away from the clan with them. The Hodunks weren't experts in much, but what they did have profound knowledge and interest in that would be relevant here were cars. Pretty much everyone who was part of this ancestral clan knew how to fix cars and were mechanics in and of themselves. This includes Moxie, Ellie, and Scooter. While it's never specified whether by the clan or his mother, Scooter picked up the profession of mechanic, and he was a pretty damn good one at that. Many describe him as a savant in his field. He was also a bit of an entrepreneur as well. Perhaps inspired by his own mother's entrepreneurship, Scooter too started his own business, which involved helping people traverse the land of Pandora much quicker. Scooter built, or at least had a hand in, the design and creation of the Outrunner vehicle. He set up outposts all around Pandora, which allowed the vehicles to be destructed for anyone's use. He wisely named the business after a very memorable and infectious slogan he loved saying, "Catch a ride."
Catch a ride!
Scooter's Catch a Ride business was almost revolutionary to the planet and was an immediate success. For being a business with many locations dotted around the planet, his finances are never addressed. We don't know if these make him money or if he's just doing them out of pure passion and publicity. He doesn't act or seem to be financially rich, but yet somehow he's still capable of opening new locations over and over again. Knowing Scooter's personality, it's more likely the latter of passion he's gone about his business, though I'm sure he net a decent income.
On Pandora, the best place to hop some wheels with Scooter's Catch a Ride station. Now you might be thinking I'm only saying that because I have a semi-corrupt monopolization of the vehicle trade on the entire planet. Well, I'll have you know that's only mostly true. Or technically true. Can I start over?
Being a local Pandoran resident himself, he got to know and familiarize himself with all sorts of people around the planet, making friends with many of them. Honestly, he doesn't play too much of a role in the overall games themselves. While he's got a personality larger than life, which makes it feel as though he's more involved than he actually is, in the first game his role is mainly primarily dedicated to questioning the authenticity of the Vault's existence. Also, he doesn't quite trust Tannis due to her science and the fact that she's not very ladylike. He's definitely not a fan of the Crimson Lance when they arrive on the planet, as he believes they don't care about blue-collar workers such as himself. But fortunately, he never gets on the wrong side of them either. He quickly becomes allies with Roland and the others, even helping them work against the Lance during the events of General Knox's DLC. Keeping things on the down low, he helps Athena and the Vault Hunters meet up to work against them and rid them of the planet. Aside from this and providing a brief introduction for his mother, Scooter does his usual fixing cars and hiding Athena. Probably the most significant event Scooter had in the first game was his killing of Lucky Zafford. The Zaffords are the mortal rival clan to the Hodunks, but that's not why he killed him. The real reason he killed Lucky was because he busted his mama's girly parts, which he held resentment for. Due to this, he buried him in a shallow grave, which would inadvertently fan the flames of the clan war going on between them and the Hodunks, though this would proceed to not affect Scooter in any way. By the time Borderlands 2 came around, Hyperion had invaded the planet and many of its residents had been relocated to Sanctuary, Scooter included. He came to form quite the disdain and distrust for Hyperion as a whole, as they represent a lot of what is the exact opposite of himself. Whereas he's a blue-collared, hard-working entrepreneur, Hyperion is a giant megacorporation stepping on the little guy. Also, they have evil robots, which to someone like Scooter is exactly what he'd think is the beginning of the end of mankind.
Oh, crap. Is you Hyperion? I heard all of you were robots and you eat metal out the garbage and stuff. Knew you wired death machines be come for me once Roland went missing. Now, if you're here to kill me, you should probably know. You'll never take me alive, you robotic son of a bitch!
Scooter's role in the Crimson Raiders was actually very important, as he was in charge of maintaining the city's mechanical defenses, making sure its shield was up and running to protect them from large-scale attacks, as well as working on its flying system which resides underground. All of this fell on him to keep up and maintain, making sure everything was working, or if it was broken, repairing. In terms of his sexual proclivities, it seems the Hodunk's blood still very much ran through his veins, as he finds himself attracted to various relatives of his, one of which is Ellie, which is part of the reason she moved out to the dust alone to get away from him.
I just got sick of her nagging and came out here to make it on my own. That, and I was worried Scooter might have a crush on me.
What? Please. Just tiny one.
But also one named Lainey White.
How you met my girl, Lainey? She perfect, man. Blonde, great body, distantly related to me, great body.
Her feelings towards him were not reciprocated, so instead she found herself running away to join the Rats, where she turned to a life of cannibalism as it seemed the better alternative. But since Scooter had developed such a large crush on her, he tasked the Vault Hunters at some point later in life with showing her that he still loved her. After gifting her pizza and flowers, things seemed to be working just fine. But after learning it was Scooter who's confessing these things get hostile and she is forced to be put down. A similar sort of scenario would happen again, as after writing a poem for a new girl, she proceeds to kill herself.
Herein is Scooter's poem for you, Daisy. Here we go. Daisy, I like you a whole lot. More than that bandit likes spooning that robot. You are a diamond in the rough, or a flower surrounded by shrapnel and stuff. I will hang myself from my own tombstone if within you I cannot put my bone.
Wow, this is really, could you excuse me for a second? Thanks.
So, what'd you think?
After the events of Borderlands 2, Scooter once again found himself opening a new Catch-A-Ride location in Hollow Point. Janie Springs, an NPC met during the pre-sequel, is hired here as well, as her and Athena had begun dating, and Scooter helped out Athena a while back. It was here that the events of Tales from the Borderlands take place. He ends up meeting Sasha and Fiona, who need vehicle repairs after winning a broadcasted bandit race. He recognizes them and is willing to fix their car, obviously for the right cash. But since they can't pay, he instead willingly fixes it if he can be their sponsor for future races for the publicity. An offer they agree to despite having no intention of competing any further. It's not too relevant, as despite the deal, Scooter would proceed to develop a bit of a crush on Fiona. He would have a much more relevant role in the story a bit later, after the characters get into a bit of trouble and their ventures must take them to space. When they are in need of a rocket, they initially go to Janie due to her past space escapades, but Scooter, always wanting to go to space, willingly tags along his services to help out, as the ship would need a mechanic. The ship is built, and after a sweet slow-mo walkout, they take liftoff. But a problem arises when they aren't able to escape Pandora's gravitational pull. It is Scooter who devises a plan to overload the ship, which helps break into space. But this plan put them in danger, as the thrusters were at risk of exploding and needed to be detached. It is he and Fiona who take the risk and go outside the ship to do this, and while Fiona is successful on her end, Scooter accidentally got his hand caught and is incapable of freeing himself in time. Instead, he makes the honorable sacrifice to leave him behind so everyone else can live. After a heartfelt goodbye, Scooter catches one last ride towards Pandora, shouting his signature slogan.
Alright, y'all. This is probably the end, but you see Moxie or Ellie, you tell them I did some awesome shit, okay? It's been real. Catch a ride!
Scooter's life may have ended here, but his legacy would live on. Shortly after this, Fiona launched an advertisement Scooter himself was planning on displaying in space. But because now he can't do it, she does it for him in his honor. News would inevitably make its way to both Moxie and Ellie as well. Moxie had retrieved an echo recording of his final words, to which she honored. His magazines were retrieved, the Catch-A-Ride business was passed down to Ellie, and she builds a memorial ramp just for him.
I just want to say thanks. I always wanted to be a Vol Hunter, but never really had the stuff for it. Y'all gave me a cause worth fighting for, and made me feel like family. And since we all family now, y'all gotta look out for my best girls, Ellie and Moxie, K? And as for me, I gotta catch me a ride to heaven, y'all.
Another fun fact about Scooter is that he programmed every Outrunner Digistructed to come with a pimento taco in the glove box. But for now, that does it for the history of Scooter, one of the most well-loved, likable, blue-collared workers ever to come out of video game history. No one's ever been quite like him, and no one can ever replicate it. Scooter was one of a kind, and he'll always be remembered. In the meantime, if there are any other characters you'd like to see me do the history of, then be sure to let me know in the comments below, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.